Hey there, welcome to Watch Recap, and today, I will recap a horror, thriller movie called, You're Next. Okay, so let's start. The movie begins as we see Eric, just finished with Talia. Eric then goes to take a shower. Listening to songs, Talia gets herself a drink in the living room. But she feels that she is being watched. Turns out she was right, as someone comes in and it's not Eric. After Eric gets out of the shower, he is shocked to see, "You're next," written with blood on the mirror. He then gets a sight at Talia's dead body, and as he turns around he was attacked by someone and killed. The scene then shifts to a husband and wife on their way to somewhere. Paul and his wife Aubrey are heading to their vacation home in suburbs, where they will host a family reunion with their children's. Arriving at the place, Paul notices how the main entrance isn't locked. Thinking that the guard must have left it open, they go in. Aubrey starts to clean the dining room for the reunion. Paul's son Crispian, with his girlfriend Erin, is on their way to the reunion. She is excited to meet Crispian's family as they are rich. Aubrey, while cleaning up, suddenly heard a strange sound from upstairs. When she tells about this to Paul, he calmly asks her to wait outside. He goes to check upstairs. He finds nothing suspicious, but then, he heard something from inside the room and proceeds to check. He was terrified when Crispian comes from behind. Erin is waiting outside, so they both go downstairs. However, we see the door of the room slowly opening. Crispian introduces Erin to his parents and is welcomed by Paul and Aubrey. They sleep and take rest that night, waiting for the arrival of his siblings. Waking up, Crispian was greeted by his brother Drake and his wife Kelly. They both seem happy seeing each other. Erin asks Aubrey if she needs help with the kitchen, but Aubrey is okay. But then Aubrey finds she ran out of milk and asks Erin to bring milk from Eric's house. Taking a picture of Crispian and Drake together, she head towards Eric's house, calling out several times. No one answers, as Eric and his wife are dead, though the music is still playing inside the house. That night, other siblings arrive at the house, Amy and her boyfriend Tarek, as well as Felix and his girlfriend Z. Greeting each other, they introduces their partners to their parents. Aubrey then invites everyone to the dining table. While having dinner, they start discussing about each other's partner's background and occupations. Slowly, Drake and Crispian starts to argue and gets angry on each other. Because Jake always insults Crispian for his job and other reasons, in between the heated conversations, Tarek notices something isn't right and goes to check. He was shot by an arrow and killed. Their dinner has now turned into a chaos as they are repeatedly shot by sharp arrows through the openings of the house. Trying to protect his mother, Drake gets shot on his back. They are unable to call the cops. Felix doubts if the attackers have planted cell phones jammers to prevent them from calling someone. As the situation becomes more serious, Erin asks everyone to move using the chairs as a shield. She then asks Kelly to hold Drake's wound so it won't bleed much. Felix suggests that if someone can run to the car and go get some help, he asks who runs the fastest. Watching all of them argue over this, Amy volunteers to do it. The plan is, opening the door, Amy will rush to the car and the killers would not be able to get a shot on her. She then runs, but unfortunately, it turns out that the killers have set up a metal wire in front of the door which cuts Amy's throat severely. Erin closes all the openings to prevent the killers from coming inside. She thinks if they have few of the network, they can at least send a text message to 911. She keeps trying to send the message. Crispian has never seen Erin act like this before. Aubrey is taken to the room to rest, but to their bad, they have no idea one of the killers is already inside the house, who kills Aubrey right away. Hearing Aubrey scream, they all rushes to her room, only to know that they're next. While closing the kitchen windows, Erin was attacked by one of the killers, but she hurt him instead. The killer escapes before she could finish him. Paul screams his agony as he lost his beloved wife. They take him outside to calm him down. Kelly, who is still inside the room covering Aubrey's body, feels something strange, so she looks under the bed, where she finds this. Screaming for her life, she starts to run. She even runs out of the house. Following her, Drake gets hurt in his injury. Taking out the arrow, he goes unconscious. She runs for help outside but gets followed by one of the killers. Crispian then decides to go outside and bring a car as Drake and Dad can't run in this condition. Kelly reaches at Eric's house. Listening to the music, she thinks Eric is home and calls him out, but instead of Eric, the killer comes and punches her in the face. Asking for help, she realizes Eric is already killed. The killer then kills her with an axe, showing no mercy. Returning Crispian brings unconscious Drake inside and decides to go out again, but this time he will have to go far as the car he found the previous time is not working. Erin senses that one of the killers is still inside the house, so she hides Drake behind the curtains. She boils water for some reason. Looking at the broken glass, she thinks of getting all the tools that can be useful for defense. But a killer breaks in with Kelly's dead body. The killer tries to kill Erin, but the tables turn when she kills him, being merciless. Felix and Z is shocked knowing she could do that. Opening the killer's mask, Felix say they don't know him at all. Paul goes to check upstairs to find the killer, who's still hiding inside. But the lights go off, so Erin goes into the basement to look for the power switches, and Felix goes upstairs to see Paul. Paul finds clothes, food and drinks in the room which he previously wanted to check. Felix shows up and Paul tells him that this is not a sudden attack but well planned. They have been watched for a long time. The killer then comes and cuts his throat, killing him brutally right in front of Felix and Z. It turns out that Felix and Z is the one who ordered the killers, just to inherit the property of his father all alone. One of the killers comes in and sees the killer who was killed by Erin. He cries and gets angry because two of the killers are brothers. Erin, who was in the basement, comes up hearing the noise. She mistakenly makes noise herself and the killer then attacks her. Unconscious Drake gets up, distracting the killer. Erin then attacks the killer from behind with a screwdriver. The killer escapes. Felix then goes with Drake to find some tool from his dad's garage. Meanwhile, Z and Erin prepare some traps if the killers come again. Z asks where did Erin learn all of this. She says she grew up in a survivalist's compound. His father wanted her to learn all of this so she could handle herself in situations like these. When Felix reveals about Kelly to Drake, he gets overwhelmed by this and starts to cry. At this moment, Felix stabs his brother multiple times to kill him. Even death waits till Drake could digest that his own brother did this to him. Z tries to kill Erin too, but couldn't. Erin then walks upstairs to check Paul. She sees Paul's dead body, and she sensed the killer's presence just when he was about to attack her. She escapes getting her leg injured. She painfully gets the glass out her thigh, and then get attacked by the killer again. She is forced to go back into the house as she can't run properly now. She hides in behind the curtains. The killer follows her and finds the trap she set for him. He then comes through the window, but Erin is smart as she put trap there too. Hearing the killer screams, Felix asks the other killer to go check on him. Meanwhile, Z asks him to make love to her next to her dead mother. Felix is not having it, so he leaves. Z also takes out the ring from Aubrey's fingers. Getting down, Felix shouts at the killers that they couldn't kill one girl and offers them more money even if they now help him complete his evil plan. Listening to him, Erin behind the curtain realizes that it's Felix who did all of this. Unfortunately, her phone rings as the emergency message has been successfully delivered. One of the killer goes to check behind the curtains, but Erin escapes. Felix, Z, and one of the killer follow after her but moves in the wrong direction. The killer who is injured follows right behind her. Erin smartly killed him and takes his axe. Fearing that the cops will arrive, Felix takes the crossbow and goes to search for Erin on the highway. Erin sets up a trap with the axe which will kill anyone who comes from the main door. But unfortunately, the killer comes inside from the other way. She runs in the basement and breaks every bulb, making it dark. The killer comes. She sets up her camera to take photos every 3 seconds with a flash. She puts pieces of glass so when he steps on it, it will reveal his position. As the flash goes on and off, she seeks the opportunity of the killer's unclear vision and attacks. She smashes his face with a log and makes it look like this. Coming outside of the basement, she picks up a knife and right now Felix shoots her with the crossbow but misses it. Z then comes inside with the crossbow, while Felix checks his car for a weapon. Z goes inside to check for Erin, and is attacked by Erin. Felix also comes but Erin manages to dominate both of them. While Z distracts Erin, Felix stabs on her back. She then puts a blender on Felix's head and makes smoothie out of his head. She also stabs Z in her head and finally kills both of them. While catching her breath, she hears Felix's phone ringing. She picks up the call. It's Crispian, who asks if everything is done. It turns out Crispian was also involved in all of this but is just too scared of blood, so decided to stay out of the violence. Crispian then comes in from the window. He sees Erin with Felix's phone and realizes she now knows everything. So he tries to convince her that she was meant to be left unharmed during all of this only if she didn't acted the way she did. He tries to blind her by speaking about fantasies of money. But she kills him too. But then, she was shot by an officer from the window. The officer goes to his car and calls for backup. She crawls towards the main door to stop the officer from coming inside, but unfortunately, not knowing about the trap, the officer comes inside. This is where the movie ends. Subscribe to the channel if you love movies, like and share the video, we appreciate it. See you again.